Is Joel Embiid enough for the 76ers to win the NBA Finals? Or at least get you to the finals? And it's an interesting concept because I'm a Philadelphia Sixers fan, so I'm someone who watches a lot of the games, read a lot of the news and the updates and the dramas and all that stuff. But I think Joel Embiid I think the answer to the question is simply yes. Joel Embiid is perfect for someone who you can build a team around. Now, I know he's had some injuries. He just recently came back from an injury. He was out for 10 games or so. But you see the talent and you see the comparisons. He has probably some of the best footwork that the NBA big men have ever seen. Or at least put him in your top 5. I mean, he's dominant on the court. I guess he's not as forceful, I guess you can say, or aggressive in a certain perspective as someone like Shaquille O'Neal. But I think Joel Embiid could dance all around him with his amazing footwork and just his outside shooting as well, with the 3-point and just some of your mid-range games and things like that. Now, before the injury, Joel Embiid was probably first or second, maybe tied for first for the MVP race. Unfortunately, the quickest way to derail that path is to get hurt, is to be out, is just simply not play the game. And I believe currently that the Joker from the Nuggets is currently the leader. But it's interesting to note real quick that Damian Lillard of the Portland Trailblazers is currently in second. And I have to say, I would love for someone like Dame Time to win, because that guy is underrated and no one gives him as much love as they should. And I don't think he gets enough respect around the league because he's in Portland and it's a tough market. It's a tough market for that team. But Dame Time, oh, that's a real deal. That's a real thing. That's a serious thing going on. But anyway, that's a whole nother topic. So Joel Embiid, if you take a look at the roster and things like that, they're doing well. I mean, it's interesting to note that in the 10 games that he wasn't on the court, they went 7-3. That's a big deal. That's, it's a big thing for the team, for someone like Ben Simmons to try and control the offense and just to get those wins. And I think that can be boiled down to the players buying into the certain system with Doc Rivers. And I'm impressed with someone like with Tobias Harris, who is big in the pick and roll system that Doc kind of runs, and I think that has benefited him this season, thank God, because when you had Jimmy Butler and Al Horford and Tobias Harris, I was very keen on the idea of getting Tobias out of there because he just didn't seem to be that effective, and signing a big contract, you kind of need to be effective. I mean, you got to play these games and you got to play well. So, the first game that Joel Embiid comes back, he scores 24 points. He only plays 29 minutes. And I think that was done on purpose, just to get him back in game shape a little bit. 8 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 blocks. And it's interesting, and it was a competitive game with Karl Anthony Towns, and that guy is kind of a letdown. That's all the Timberwolves have. And despite his talent and his potential, I think if I was him, I think he should ask to leave, but I think he wants to win there. I just don't think it's going to go. I'm sorry. You can look at Cat and realize what's going on and see the potential in him, but I don't think it's getting used well, and I think you need a new team. But Joel Embiid dominated him with a couple of blocks and just using the footwork and just being effective on the court, and it was so impressive to see after 10 games of not playing. And you can really get an idea of the dominance of a Joel Embiid with the team, and they went 7-3. I still think you need to make some moves here. I mean, Seth Curry is kind of inconsistent. I still don't know what Danny Green's gonna do. They did get George Hill, and I don't know if he's really going to help that much. I mean, don't get me wrong, he's a professional. He can shoot the 3, he can defend. I just don't know how many minutes he's really going to play. But it doesn't matter. You have Seth Curry, you have Joel Embiid, and Ben Simmons. That's the cornerstone of your organization. It seems like this season they're finally learning how to play together and play well, and that's going to pay dividends in the future if they keep the two players, and I hope they would. They would be stupid to get rid of one of them, but if you had to, I think I would get rid of Ben Simmons, but that's just my opinion. I think Embiid is that MVP caliber player who you build around, who you get players around someone like that, and you can dominate any game. What do you guys think about the potential of Joel Embiid, and do you think he's someone that you would build your team around if you were an organization in the NBA? Do you think they're going to reach the finals with Brooklyn being that number one threat? I personally don't think so. I would love to, don't get me wrong, but I think the Nets are just too big of an offense to really deal with, especially, and I just don't think the Sixers match up all the way. I think they meet them maybe 40%. I mean, it does seem like the Brooklyn Nets have just way too much that someone can't handle. But what do you guys think about this? And let us know in the comment section below, and we'll see you guys next time.